Hello and welcome to the Team Hustle Hard team call tonight. It is November 2nd, 2017, and we are going to talk about the steps of inviting. So inviting can be super overwhelming and a little bit intimidating. So I kind of wanted to break down some good ideas and ways to invite that have been successful for me. So keep in mind a little bit about inviting and talking to somebody and building a relationship is that it does take time. It does take building trust. So this inviting piece is going to come full circle behind, posting on your social media, building relationships, non-beach body messages. All of that stuff needs to come first, and then inviting won't seem so kind of maybe uncomfortable if you're doing those other pieces first. So I'm going to explain inviting and the whole process in using a funnel system because that's what I personally use and have found is very successful for me. This is the system I've been using when I was hitting Success Club 20, 10 every month, those kind of things. So just to keep in mind that there is a process and there is a reason behind it. So when you're starting someone in your list and your funnel system, the first two steps are going to be, liking and commenting on their page. This is a way to engage, to kind of have that conversation, to start talking to them, giving compliments, interacting. The third step is going to be sending those non-Beachbody messages, which we can talk about more specifically in another training. But getting to know them as a person, building that relationship that isn't related to Beachbody in general. And then I usually like to have a step 4, which is, again, engaging with them on their page, liking and commenting, things like that. And then the fifth step is where we would come to inviting. So there's a lot of, kind of building before this part. Inviting, you can make it as simple or as complicated as you want. I have found, I've tried a bunch of different methods with inviting, and there's always a couple things to keep in mind when you're inviting that are keys that are going to help you to be successful. One, keep in mind that this is something that you talk about all the time and something that you are very comfortable discussing, but isn't something that necessarily everybody is comfortable discussing. So approaching it in that manner, like, talking about health and fitness or the lack thereof in somebody's life possibly can be kind of personal. So making sure to approach it in that way. One, two, be a good listener, ask a lot of questions. That's what's going to help you get to know this person, but also know if this is a good program for them, because this isn't for everybody. It's for, I would say, most people, but there are some people who are truly not going to be open to this opportunity, and that's okay. But asking those questions so you can determine if it is something that would be great for them. Third would be try not to word vomit. So we're really excited about this program. We know how great it is. We know how this can get us some awesome results and has. But that doesn't necessarily mean that someone's coming from that same point of view. They maybe have never even heard of Beachbody or Shakeology or a coach or a challenge group. So for them, they're not going to be amped and pumped like you are. So if when you're talking to them, you just spiel out all these things of why you love, Beachbody or challenge groups or whatever, it may become super overwhelming. They're like, dude, okay, I can't. So again, going back to asking a lot of questions and kind of getting in that mindset of question, 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 and breadcrumbing, taking those conversations in little steps rather than, sending these huge mile long messages that are just too much, or somebody starts reading halfway through and they're like, I can't. And then I think the last piece would be yourself in these conversations. For me, I tend to joke around a lot, talk a lot in a way that's very much me. Like, I love to say awesome and amazing, but I also say is that something you're down for? Is that something that you would like? Not everybody talks like that. So talk like you, don't talk like me or someone else, or talk the way that you think that you should sound. Because when you talk like you're having a conversation with your friend, they're more likely to listen to you as a friend rather than somebody who's trying to sell them something. So come off as a real person, not as a, salesy whatever, which is one of the big reasons why most of us went into coaching, is because we want to build those relationships. We want to help people. We don't want to sell something. So all that being said, I wanted to give some actual steps, some verbiage, some things that can really help with inviting, even more so than just ideas, because I know when I started this business, that was something that how to do that became very overwhelming. So all of these things, guys, that I'm going to kind of talk to you about are pretty much standard across the board. Some of these I even have pre-typed out as kind of a general outline, because let's say you're talking to 20 or 30 people in one day, and you only have a limited amount of time. There are certain things that are always going to be consistent. So I'll kind of specify what those are, and then you just kind of modify and change them based on who you're talking to and what those responses are. But some of the questions and things that people are going to ask me, my responses tend to be the same. So after I've kind of built that relationship and I'm going to invite them to a challenge group, usually my little kind of spiel starts off with something like, hey, whatever their name is, I know this is totally random, because it is, guys. We think about it all the time, but they don't. Unless they bring it up to you, then maybe it's not totally random. But most of the time, if you're reaching out to someone, it is random, especially because you've been talking to them about other things. So, hey, this is totally random, and I'm not totally sure if it's your thing, but I'm looking to fill the last few spots of my challenge group, whatever the name is, insert it. This month for me, it's How to Eat Pie and Still Look Fly challenge group, verbatim. I'm looking to fill the last few spots of this group, and I would love to have you. I think you would love it. It's a bunch of women who are looking to have fun, kick butt together, and get fit. Is this something that sounds like you would enjoy or you would be down for? Question mark. So changing that to fit your verbiage. And, so this can change for if you're inviting to a free group, if you're inviting to a clean week, if you're inviting to Coach University. My coach invite looks very different than my challenge group invite. But the gist basically is giving them a little bit of information, specifying that they would love it, that this would be something that would be super great, and asking them if that's something that they want to, kind of converse with you about. When people, let's say you send this and they don't respond, sometimes it's that they didn't see it. Sometimes it's that they saw it and were like, oh, I have 3 kids. I totally spaced on responding. That does sound great. Sometimes it's that they really aren't sure about it or aren't sure if they should respond in general. So a typical, if they don't respond, I'm going to send a follow-up message. I would say probably 80% of the time my conversations come from a follow-up message, guys. So don't think because you send that initial message that if they don't respond to you that they're not interested, because that's not really true. So my follow-up message is usually something along the lines of like, hey, girlfriend, I'm not sure if you got my last message, but I just wanted to follow up with you and see if you could be interested in joining my next challenge group. The last day to reserve a spot is Friday. And I would love to have you. Is this something that you could be interested in? Question mark. So a couple things to keep in mind. Always ending all of your invites and all of your conversations with a question. This gives them the ability to respond to you and to ask more questions themselves and start that dialogue rather than just talking at them. 2, also keeping in mind that a lot of times those conversations are going to have follow-up questions, and each one might be different, but that's good. That's what you want. You want to have that engagement. And then the last part is when you're having these conversations, keeping in mind that, even if let's say you go through this whole process and they don't respond to those, I've had people who read them, have not responded, and then 2 or 3 months later have reached out to me and go, hey, I remember you sent me this message. I didn't respond, but I think I'm ready now. What's it all about? Okay, so just, don't take them not responding as something personal, because it's not. This is about them, not about you. So that's the first step. Inviting, always following up. If they do respond, which is, for the best, and they say like, hey, that sounds interesting. What does it entail? Again, another little pre-written out thing that I have, because I'm always going to send the same response to what a challenge group is. I usually say something along the lines of a challenge group. Our challenge groups are these virtual support groups that I run online, and I run them every month. We check in daily with each other to help with support and motivation. Whoa, I just drew a blank. All of the girls are doing different programs, but working to get, working towards their own health and fitness goals. Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions to figure out if there's a good program for you? So how everyone describes a challenge group might be a little bit different. I usually like to specify, also maybe in there, like, are doing different programs that consist of workouts, check-ins daily, substituting a shake for a meal, and, you know, coaching for me or whatever. Like a little tiny blurb about what a program consists of. So they know that it's not just, you know, supplements or whatever. Like they're actually getting stuff, meal plan, that kind of stuff. So that's something that I'll send that's pretty generic. Then typically at that point, if they say like, oh yeah, that sounds really cool. Like, you know, what do I need to do? Or how does this all work? Or, you know, when I ask them, hey, can I ask you a couple questions? Usually most people are going to say, sure, sounds great. What's up? At that point, I have a couple questions I always ask. What are your health and fitness goals? And I might even say like, AKA, or, you know, for example, losing weight, building muscle, getting healthy, feeling good overall, those kind of things. Let them respond, guys. This was something I struggled with in the very beginning. Like I wanted to keep asking them questions, but the reality is most people aren't on Messenger as much as we are, or even on their phones. So it may take them that day to respond, or a day or two. So throughout this whole process, usually if it goes 2 days, then I'll send a follow-up message again, but give them that time to respond. So, you know, what are your health and fitness goals? And someone might say, oh, I want to lose 20 pounds and I just want to get healthy overall. At this point, you're going to want to reinforce what they've just told you, because that was something personal that they shared with you and something that maybe wasn't easy. And they want to know that they're not alone in this process, because it can feel lonely. If it was easy and everybody could do it, everybody would. So this is where feel, felt, and found come in. You know, you understand how they feel, you felt that way before, and you found that doing this, that, or the other thing has really helped. So, you know, reinforcing, you know, I feel like a girl when I was 50 pounds overweight. It was really hard for me. I hated how, you know, putting on an outfit every day or whatever, something genuine to your story. You know, I've totally feel ya. I have felt that way before. But I found that, you know, using a specific program that, you know, is really simple and easy has been huge for me. Next question, another question I'll ask. So what would you say is the hardest piece in regards to nutrition for you? I myself am a self proclaimed sweets addict. I should run meetings for all of us, is kind of usually something along the lines of I say, and then LOL with an emoji. You know, what's the hardest thing for you? This way I'm becoming vulnerable first and giving them the opportunity to feel like they can share. You know, some people are going to say like fast food or this or that or the other thing. Oh, I totally relate to the sweets craving, whatever it is. They have that ability to tell you what's hard for them. Again, feel, felt, found when they give you whatever information that they're giving you. Because probably most likely you've experienced that, or someone you know has experienced that same issue too. After they tell you, and when you're saying what you've found, I typically am going to reiterate to them maybe something they would need. So if they're like, oh, I really struggle with meal prepping, I just don't have a lot of time. You know, at the end, I'm going to say, so it sounds like you're going to need a meal plan that's going to be simple and easy. Does that sound about right? So they know you're hearing them. And they're going to say, yes. I'm going to say, awesome. Okay. And let's talk about, you know, working out. Are you currently doing a workout program? What type of workouts do you enjoy? Dance, kickboxing, cardio, weights. Give them some options. Or you're not sure, because some people may have never worked out a day in their lives, guys. So you need to be able to, you know, understand that and put that in there as an option. Usually when they respond to me with whatever type of workouts they're doing, or if they've done a workout program in the past, you know, I'll sometimes ask like if they're still doing that. They'll usually tell me and I'll say, oh, okay, good to know. These are all things you want to know in your head. Like, is this going to be something that they're going to supplement as workouts? Is it that they're doing this completely? Or is it something that they're not going to be interested in because they're like obsessed with whatever other type of workout? And that's not part of the program that they're going to want. But nutrition might be something they need. So asking that question. I also ask, do you think it would be possible to work in workouts 4 to 5 times a week for 30 minutes? This is important, guys, because some people are going to say, you know, I want to go to the gym, but I don't have time. I don't want to do this. Most people can work 30 minutes into their workout or into their lives. But keep in mind, as Beachbody has created, we have workouts as small as 6 minutes, 10 minutes, 22 minutes. So there are workouts that are less than that. But the average workout is about 30 minutes long. So I usually try to feel out if they can do that. If they're like, well, no, I really can maybe do it 2 or 3 days a week. Okay, great. So you know where they're starting at, and where to kind of work with them as their coach. You want to know the type of person and challenger you're going to be working with. Um, Somewhere in the conversation, I'll usually work in also if they've ever heard of Shakeology. Um, the reason, guys, is Shakeology is one of those things that if you've never heard of it, you've never tried it, you don't really know what it is, you need to build value. You need to understand, because we drink it, we understand how it makes us feel, we understand how good it is for us. But if you just saw it on a random computer screen or someone was telling you about it, you're like, cool, thanks, whatever. So that's something that I feel like is one of those items that is something you want to build that value, so they really understand that this is not a protein powder, this is not some random supplement off the shelf. Like, this is the most nutritious thing you can put in your body, and your body needs this. So typically I'll ask them to watch a short 2-minute video of Shakeology. On your websites, your coach websites, there is a whole section of shareable videos. I copy and paste that link into my phone. The video is 2 minutes. There's a couple of them. There's the Tony Horton video. If there's someone who takes a lot of supplements already, then I share with them that one, because it talks about all the different items that are in Shakeology, like the chia seeds and the fruit and the vegetables and all of that stuff. If they're not somebody like that, then I'll share the breakthrough Shakeology, the breakthrough video. And it just talks about what it does for your body, what it is, how unique it is, and why it's so important for you to drink. This helps build that value. So when they're talking about a challenge pack, that tends to be the one thing that people have reservations about, at least I have found. So helping them understand why it's so important and why a challenge pack is such a great deal. So you go through this whole process, ask them if they've ever heard of Shakeology, reinforce that with a video. You ask them if they've ever worked out, what their workouts are like, what do they like to do, would this fit in their lifestyle? What's their biggest piece of nutrition, AKA, a meal plan, recipes, whatever. Reinforcing all of that. Then you come full circle. And at this point is when you need to reinforce what they've told you. So this is when you're going to say, okay, so let me make sure I'm hearing you right on what you need to be successful. I hear that you need short, easy workouts you can do at home, preferably dance or yoga related, comma. I hear that you need a simple, easy nutrition plan that's going to let you have carbs and also help with your sweet cravings. That's your meal plan and your Shakeology. I also hear that sometimes you've really struggled with sticking to a program, so the support of this challenge group would be huge. Does that sound about right to you? And let them respond, because this is them acknowledging, this is what I need. This is what I want. Because again, full circle, this is all about them. This conversation, guys, sometimes I'm having may take a day or two. That's the reality of it, especially with the way lives are. I use the voice recording button in Messenger a lot, because then people can kind of hear how I talk as well. And it's a lot easier to personally do than typing out all of these messages. So something that could be great for you. At this point, they're going to say yes. And I'm going to say, okay, I think the perfect program for you is going to be our All Access Challenge Pack, because it's literally going to give you every single thing you need to be successful. The All Access Challenge Pack comes with, and I'm going to give them a little brief description. This especially I do on the voice messenger, because it is really long to type and can seem really overwhelming when you say it like that, or type it like that, I'm sorry. So I'll say something like, it gives you a 1-year subscription to every single Beachbody workout ever created and any new ones that come out. So essentially you're getting like the Netflix for workouts. You get to try everything. This is going to include that dance and yoga that you love. It also is going to come with a specialized meal plan that's going to help you figure out your goals and eat accordingly. And that also comes with the portion fix containers, which go hand in hand to make sure you're eating portion meals and still getting to enjoy the lifestyle that you have. It's simple, it's easy, and it makes it to the point. And then it's also going to come with a 30-day supply of Shakeology, which, as I showed you in the video, is amazing. And it's something that's going to help so much with your sweet cravings, because girl, it has helped with mine. It is insane. And then the last part is it's going to come with the monthly challenge groups and the unlimited coaching. So if you need anything, extra support, help with your order, anything like that, I'm here for you moving forward. Does this program sound like something that would work for you, or that would kind of hit those goals that you're looking for? And I'd let them respond. And then at that point, I'm going to say, okay, usually they're going to ask me about price at some point, which is totally understandable. Everyone wants to know. And let me tell you, when I've described this program to people and I'm like, how much do you think it is? They'll say like $500. Like, I'm telling you, like, people assume that because you're giving them this simple and easy like plan, that this has to be like a $300, $400, $500 program, because that's what is the market is like. And in reality, we are giving them these awesome, simple, real life solutions for 160 bucks. That's like insane. So that's how I present it. Oh my gosh, guess what? This program originally was $200 and now it's 160. And that is going to be the best deal in town. You're going to get the best bang for your buck. And at that point, you know, when they ask me about price, that's how I'm going to say it. And if they ask me about price beforehand, you know, earlier in the conversation, which sometimes people do, I'll usually say, you know, the group is free. The coaching is free. That's for all of my challengers. Every month they get the availability to a group. All you will need to, the only expense that you'll have is for what you will need for the group, aka a challenge pack. So do you mind if I ask you a couple questions to figure out what type of challenge pack would be best for you? That way, you're still able to ask them questions. You're able to make sure that they know that this is a specific program for them rather than just something you tell everybody about. It's just another product you're shoving in their face. Then in reality, this is something that would work for them. If a challenge pack doesn't work for them, then don't try to sign them up for a challenge pack, because the reality is people are not going to, they will just stop talking to you if they feel like you have this other agenda. The reality is we are there to help them. We're asking questions because we genuinely care about what they're doing and how we can help them be successful. So after we go through this whole process and they're like, okay, I'm ready to go. At this point, you're going to want to walk them through the steps of sending them a link, having the conversation about what Shakeology flavors they want. Do they want a barista pack? Do they want a vegan versus regular? And making sure they understand their different options, that they feel like, yeah, my coach really cares, because you do. And you want to make sure that they get what they want, because that's what will actually help them be successful and make them happy, make them a happy customer, and in turn, a happy challenger, and in turn, a happy coach. So walk them through all of those steps, and then let them know. Are you going to ask them, are you going to be able to sign up tonight? Are you going to be able to sign up right now? Tomorrow morning, can I follow up with you to get you registered for the group? Having that sense of urgency, guys, because the reality is most people, when it comes to a health and fitness journey, are scared. They want to do it. They really want to, but they're nervous that, at some point something's going to happen or whatever. So they're going to talk themselves out of it. So if you can have that conversation and get to the end of the conversation and have them sign up at that point in time, they're way more likely to actually be successful in getting started, getting signed up for your group. If it continues to linger and they wait and wait and wait, 90% of people are going to talk themselves out of it, because it is a big jump to say, I want to change my lifestyle. I want something better for myself. And there's always that little voice in the back of your head that doesn't want you to do it, because our minds go for what is comfortable. We are all about comfortability rather than, that sense of like scary, but could be better. That is the hardest thing for us as human beings. It is ingrained for us to be comfortable. So when you're when you're having these conversations, keeping in mind that, this is asking for people to invest in themselves. And a lot of the people that we're talking to, investing in themselves is like the last thing they have ever done. But we all know that it's the best thing you could ever do for you and for everyone around you. So anyways, I hope that gives you a little more help with inviting, because I know that can be one of the scariest parts of this conversation as a coach. Obviously, if you're talking to somebody who you've known for a really long time, or a family member, you already know their why. You already know if they're working out. You already know, so having that conversation might look a little bit different. But this is for somebody who maybe from high school, or for somebody that just know from social media. This gives you a way to kind of interact and have those conversations. And if for some reason someone, isn't able to do it right now, or says no, or whatever, try to let them know, no worries. Like, that's totally fine. I run these groups every month. I would love to have you whenever you're ready. Maybe I can follow up with you at a better time. Giving that option to have that conversation later. And sometimes if people don't respond, like I said, they see you, they're watching you, but they're just not ready. So making sure to follow up. I have a 90-day follow-up list. If someone says no to me, or they can't right now, in 90 days, I'm going to reach out to them again, because maybe they're not ready right now, but maybe they will be in 3 months. And during that 3-month period, they're going to be watching you. And that is the best part, is that invite is starting that conversation. It is making it apparent to this person that you are here, you're ready, you want to have this conversation with them, and you're open to talking. And that is half the battle, is knowing that they can talk to you and they can reach out to you. So don't be scared of invites. Get pumped by invites and get pumped by the no, because that means that you're this much closer to the yes. So I hope that was helpful, guys. If you have any questions or anything you want to talk about afterward, please comment on the video. I would be more than welcome to answering any questions you might have on specifics of inviting, but just really simplify it. Make it simple, understand who you're talking to, and be a real person. Be there for them, and the rest of it will all fall into place. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and I will talk to you later. Bye.